What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's beautiful project, our Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, a big off-road beast with a twin-turbo V8 engine. This is the VM G63 4x4 Mercedes-Benz G-Class, or G-Wagon, as it's more aptly known. We got this one from the auction house. Everything's around 50%, so it's really not bad at all. I'm quite happy with it. 50% overall condition. Did we get a good deal? We did indeed. This doesn't happen very often. 48,775 is what I paid, and I could sell it for 55,268, making 6,493 before we even begin. And I'm always happy with that, especially as we won't be drag racing today, so there will be no drag strip winnings. We are going back around the gravel the gravel track that we showcased in the last episode. There is a link in the description of that video, and there will be one in this video and on Friday's video as well if you want to grab that track for yourself. The engine in this one is the V8 double overhead cam A.K.A. TRS, which is the twin turbo engine. Absolutely insane. Loving that one with 1,101 horsepower. I already think that's going to be quite a bit for the gravel track. So I don't think we're going to put too many performance parts on this beast today. I think it's already got enough power. We're going to do the brakes for definite. We're going to do the gearbox as well, definitely, to make sure we sort all of that out. But let's get on underneath. I want to take you for a quick tour around some of the additions we've got on it. Obviously, we've got these skid pans, bash plates, whatever you want to call them, added in at the front, and these wonderful struts holding all of this sub cross member to the actual frame, along with a couple of plates up there holding these U-bolts in. U-bolts? Can't remember what they're called. My mind's gone. This is obviously four-wheel drive. What we've got is this little drive shaft at the front, which comes through and connects to the back, and then it does connect up to the main gearbox. That is missing, but there is one there, as you can see. And what I've done to make a 4x4 transfer case, as there isn't one available, I've just used the little roof box as a little bonus part and had them both feed into that, and then that feed in to the rear axle there. Looking pretty smart. Some more struts down at the back here. Looking pretty cool. We've also got some side exit exhaust. Meet up in the middle, crossing over, and then up into that engine there. Looking absolutely fantastic on the underside. Little bits, mixed in. We've also got a roof rack up here and a light bar in here. And the light bar does work. Incredibly bright. The headlights are also on as well, but I think they're just overpowered by that roof bar light. Looking pretty awesome, and we've got some SVR seats in there. They will be staying. But that's it for the start of this beautiful G-Wagon. So let's get it over to the car wash. Let's get it cleaned up. Oh, here we are then in the car wash with our monster of a G-Wagon. So let's get this beast cleaned and see what colour it is underneath. What colour are you underneath that dirt and grime? Mercedes sit white. The white and black looks good with their green headlight. I was not prepared for that one. Oh, I do like white and black, but not what I've got in mind for this one today. Definitely don't want a white vehicle for an off-road track, so not the colour we're going with, but we will get that interior done, then get this beast back on the lift, start ripping everything out, get that engine ripped out, get everything else stripped down. The beautiful G-Wagon up in the air. We need to check for the oil pan through all of that suspension stuff in the middle. There is one there. It's quite hard to get underneath this vehicle. You have to go in at certain places. It is quite low down, but we do need to drain that oil out. So let's get that going. Is it well looked after? No, definitely not. That is terrible. Quite a lot of it, though. So it was kind of well looked after. Just probably not changed as often as it should be. So let's get back in underneath. We know it's four-wheel drive, so we've got a few little bits we need to get rid of. But I don't think we've got too much we actually have to. Let's get up here. What I am going to do is I'm going to add this drive shaft to my shopping list so that we don't forget it. Then we'll get this little starter out of here. And this big old gearbox, off you come. Now, when I did originally build this, I built it with the GTR rear end that has the extra gearbox at the back for this perfect setup. But, yeah, that doesn't work because you can't use two gearboxes in one build, which I guess kind of makes a lot of sense. We will take this lower drive shaft out of here as well for the time being, though. If I can get close enough to the bolts, there we go. And now that's come out of that roof box transfer case that we've made just for aesthetic reasons. And now let's see if we've done enough to get that twin turbo engine ripped out of that engine bay. And then we can start stripping more of this beautiful G-Wagon down. So over we go, open the hood and pull it out. We can indeed. Nicely done. Let's get you put away and see what we've got going on inside this engine bay. We do have a coolant reservoir, a wishy-washy reservoir, and ECU Type A, along with a cheeky little fuse box up here. battery down the back along with the fuel pump and fuel tank. Say batteries down the back. It's actually underneath the rear bench, somewhere around there, I believe. That's the edge of the rear bench. There's the battery, so just underneath it. There we go. A bit closer than I wanted it to be. Then what have we got? Fuse box. Then we got the ABS pumper module, the brake servo, power steering reservoir, air filter, and a radiator and fan housing kit. No intercoolers on this one. Nothing to increase that power. I don't think it needs it. This 1100 horsepower twin turbo V8. Next up, though, let's get these liquids drained. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We know the drill by now. Right-click, additional tools, drain tool. Click and hold on the container, and it'll all drain out. I'm going to get the rest of all of this suspension set up out, along with all of the bonus parts that are sort of holding it all together. The bash plates on the front and the back, and then we'll come back and tear this bodywork apart. That's everything repaired, replaced, or upgraded, ready to go back on our G-Wagon. And it isn't everything performance parts. I have missed quite a lot. I've done the exhaust, done the turbos, I've done the brakes and the gearbox, spark plugs. We'll cover it more a little bit later on. Let's just get on with tearing this bodywork down. Now, this is going to go back together exactly as you see it. I already picked everything out I liked on it. Looking awesome. So let's just start getting it all off. Off with the hood. Got a big old front end here, pulling out the headlights as well. Loving that. Off with the side fenders. Out you come and out you come. Any of this apart, just make sure. No. Windscreen, off you go. Door, don't need you. Don't need the rear fender and the side skirt. Door, window. Oh, can't click it. There we go. Got it in the end. Then we got the rear bumper, the trunk, and the left and right tail lights. Off you come there and off you come there. Also the badges. Let's get them. I specifically picked these ones for reasons we'll talk about in a bit, mostly the twin turbo engine, or bi-turbo, as Mercedes likes to put it, because twin turbo is just too much. You know how it is. But let's get in. That looks like everything from the bodywork. Let's get out these seats. As I said, I did go for the SVR seats. I think they look absolutely incredible in there. The only thing I don't like is the seats. The seatbelt clips are on the wrong side for the front seats. There we go. They're on the outside. I did change these, swap the seats around, and then when I jumped in to drive it, I was sat in the passenger seat, so you can't do it that way. So I don't know a way around that. Just the seatbelt clips on the wrong side. It's not really a big issue. But let's get all this interior out. Out you come, out you come. Out with that rear bench. And did we have a steering wheel? We did not have a steering wheel. But is that everything? Fingers crossed. Don't want that screen. 1% on there, and nothing showing up on there. We have got everything. The frame is at 50% bang on, and I bought it for just under 50,000. What do we think today? I'm going to say 1250. 900. It's time to get this beast all back together, and that includes all the bonus parts, so it might take a little while. So let's just get stuck in. AMG front end on there, and then we've got the AMG black trim front bumper. Looking quite mean on there. In with the headlights. I really should have put the fenders in first, shouldn't I? They are US ones, not EU ones. I was wrong. Yeah, see, I figured that was going to happen. So we'll take the headlights back out. If you put the stuff in a wrong order, for some reason, the headlights like to ghost a little bit and go invisible. So let's get them back on there with the wide body fenders, as we said. On with the hood, we went for the masonry hood just because it's got the little cutout and the scoop, and I quite like it. Then for the doors, we got the 4x4 and AMG doors with no trim pieces. Kept that theme of no trim piece all the way around, just really like it. Window, mirror, window, side step along with rear fender on there. No trim, big old wide body on there, looking awesome. Rear window, for some reason it doesn't like me selecting that one very much. Then we got the rear bumper in there, is just the normal one. And the US tail lights, in you go and in you go. They do have a little bit of reflector on the outside. Let's go for our lovely badges. G63 AMG, and if we come down to the side, a V8 bi-turbo with another AMG badge on there as well. For the trunk is the 4x4 AMG black badge because, you know, I like black badges. In with that trunk window, right body window, and then we've got the wide fenders on the other side. The two doors, in you go and in you go. Window, mirror, window, and then we've got the windshield, USDM 4x4 with the sort of bit sticking out of it for the extra lights, even though we've got a light bar to go on top of that. For the plates today, let's get around the back and start down here. We've gone for don't need roads. Obviously, I had to abbreviate it because you can never fit that on a license plate, but yes, where we're going, we don't need roads. Yes, I just made a Back to the Future reference on a 4x4 video, but I thought it was quite fitting because this twin-turbo V8 doesn't need anything really apart from someone behind the wheel and some fuel and some liquids. And that's all it needs. But let's get on. We've still got bonus parts to get in as well as the interior. Let's start with the bonus parts on the top. We've got the light bar, obviously, at the front, and then that roof rack at the back there, or roof trunk, as it's called. I do feel like we're going to need to get this up in the air to get all of these in, so let's get that done, because there is quite a bit under here. I'm going to try and race through it as absolute quickly as I can. Try and remember what parts go where. I think that's a plate wide. It is indeed. Then another plate wide, and then the very front piece should be one of these curves. It is nice. I'm getting quite good at this. And then this should be a strut bar. No, that one's not a strut bar, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get that one out now. Oh, no, I've made a grave mistake. Oh, I've ruined everything. I don't think I can get that one out from here. Can we get underneath? Give me a minute. I'm going to try and get that one out. And, yeah, I'll see you in a second. Oh, I got it. Thank God for that. Never mind. I won't see you in a second. It didn't take me as long as I thought. I can't get out from under the vehicle. Let's go again. So this piece is a steel plate. Plate wide. There we go. Then everything up. Then everything else is a strut bar. This is not easy. Okay. It does not want to let me do this one. There we go. Crouch down. Then you'll be able to do it. Bonus part e-brake. Bonus part plate wide. There we go. Bonus part e-brake. That is all the front struts done. Down the back. Let's go get these plates on. Is that the plate? That's the plate at the top. Yep, plate at the top. This is very dotty and confusing a little bit. There we go. That should be the curve. There we go. And I think everything else apart from that middle piece, the middle piece does not like it. Let's keep trying. The middle piece, there we go. The middle piece wants to be the roof box, because that is my connector for the drive shafts. And then the rest of these are all e-brakes. Let's just try and get them all in. In you go. The reason I want to get all of these in now is because I want them all to paint with the body. Can I get that last one? Maybe. Maybe. I can indeed. There we go. That is everything reattached. Ready to go over to the paint shop finally. And obviously get the suspension all on. So the bodywork's all done. Let's get into the paint shop. Let's pick a lovely colour. Well, here she is then. I did say there was no livery, but in this metallic blue, this G-Wagon looks absolutely beautiful. And that's why I wanted to get all the bonus parts in before I painted it, because I wanted all of them in that metallic blue under there. I've got plans for the suspension. Hopefully it's going to look awesome. One thing I didn't do earlier was put the seats in and the steering wheel. So let's get in and do that. Steering wheel, I went with steering wheel 8, and we just gave it a coating of black just to keep it a little bit darker in there. Then the front seats are obviously the Sport SVR seats, and we've given them a tint of blue. We'll check the colour to the body in just a moment. These are on paint option number 2. If you have the quality of life mod to get the colours in that order. And then for the backs, we went the opposite way, so the stripe down the middle is in a black instead of a blue. I think they look really good, mostly because in the secondary option for the backs, the whole back was painted blue, and I didn't want that. And for the first option for the front, the whole back was painted blue, and I didn't want that. I just wanted a little splash of it. So let's see how good we did with the colours. That's not too bad. It could be a little better, but it's a dark blue against a dark metallic blue. Anyway, very, very pleased with that. Engine bay wise, blue and black, as we expected. The colour scheme we are going for today. So let's start getting everything painted. Get this beast back on the lifter. Just in the paint shop thinking about liveries, and I haven't got one, and it's kind of breaking me a little bit. But there we go. Let's get this back on the lifter and then start getting everything all back together, ready to finish off this beautiful G-Wagon. That's everything painted on our beautiful G-Wagon, ready to go back together. So let's get started. Blue shocks, black springs on there, looking very, very nice. Quite like that, alternating the colours just a little bit. So let's get in and start getting some of this together. We got the front suspension cross member in the metallic blue, along with the steering knuckle in the metallic blue as well. The steering rack's in black, and the sway bar is also in black, along with that little transfer case just sat in the middle there. Then we got the inner tie rod in a metallic blue and the outer tie rod in a black on there, with the knuckle cover also in a black. Let's do some rubber bushings so that I don't forget them. In you go, and in you go over there. The two suspension arms are both blacked out, looking pretty good on there. One up there, one down there, and one up there. That way round. That'll do. Close enough. In you go. In with that beautiful looking shock. Very pleased with that one. I think it looks fantastic. Sway bar end links in a metallic blue as well. Then we've got the wheel hub, which is in the metallic blue, and a bearing. After the bearing, we've got the drive axle, also in that blue, running through the middle there, looking pretty good. On with the vented brakes, performance parts. The first performance parts going in there. Then we got brake pads and a beautiful chrome blue brake caliper on there just to finish the front end off. Looking pretty sweet. Very pleased with that. Let's get down the back, though, and get this thing rolling. On we go. The rear drive axle in the metallic blue. Then we got the knuckle also in the blue. The spring caps in the black. So we're going to alternate this rear spring from the front a little bit with the spring in the blue and the topper in the black. Also, the shock is opposite to the front in a little black in there. We'll take a look at that one in just a minute. Solid control arms in the black. Rubber bushing in the U-go there. Then we've got the plate in the blue with the two U-bolts, both in a cheeky little black, just to sort of separate it all up, get an extra splash of colour, defining all of the different parts there. Wheel hub is in the black with the drive axle in the blue, exactly the same as the front for this rear setup down here. Then we got the brake disc, brake pad, and that lovely chrome blue brake caliper in there, finishing that off. Also looking pretty sweet. Very, very pleased with how that's turning out. We've got the fuel tank up here. That's in the metallic blue with the fuel pump just in a little black. On with the other side then. Once I've got all of this all in and ready to go, we'll move on to that beautiful engine bay before we go and build that beautiful twin-turbo V8. That's the suspension all finished in a beautiful metallic black and blue. What do you guys think? Do let me know in the comments down below. But let's get on. Let's get this engine bay started. I've already got the fuse box in. We'll just chuck that little battery in from all the way back here. And we've got a wishy-washy reservoir, a coolant reservoir, brake servo, and the power steering reservoir just up there. The ECU, we have gone for a performance one, but I haven't gone for the stage 3. I've only gone for a stage 2 on this one. Trying to keep the power just down a little bit, because I do already think this Mercedes is going to be slightly overpowered. The ABS pump and the module, in you go, both in a black on there. They do sit on a very, very blue wall, so hopefully that's going to look pretty sweet in there. The air filter base is in a black. In we go, and on with the cover also in a black. This one sits underneath this panel here, so you can't really see it anyway, but we did give it some lovely blue clips just to finish it off. There we go, and there we go. And then the last piece to go in is this beautiful radiator in that metallic blue with the fan housing kit in black and a lovely chrome blue fan on there. Looking pretty awesome. That's all of that done. As you can see, air filter under there. Cannot see it. So painting it and clipping it was, pointless, but I do it anyway. The fuse box sits around up here somewhere. I'm not sure exactly. Again, can't see it from anywhere. But before we move on to go and build that engine, I just want to show you, I did the rear shocks in black so that they're held on by blue arms, just to separate that colour just a tiny little bit in there. Looking pretty good. But let's go and build that twin turbo V8. If we go in here and then get onto the stand, add an engine, and add what's left of our V8 on there. We've started getting some of it together. We've got the block in a black, the pan in a blue, and the two non-performance heads, both in blue as well. This one's all finished and ready to go, so let's crack on and get this one done. It is nice and simple. 2 camshafts in there, and then 4 spark plugs all along the top. Nice and easy. And then you've got 2 cam gears just down the end there. And then you can start getting on the timing belts, one on this side and one on this side, and then the timing cover, thank you, I was waiting for that, which is in a lovely metallic blue on there. It's going to be very blue inside that engine bay, which is why we've got lots of black accessories. Crankshaft pulley's black, the water pump is blue, but the water pump pulley is black on there. In you go. Then we've got the alternator, which is in a blue on this side, non-performance, and the power steering pump, which is in a blue on this side, also non-performance. All these idle rollers are in black, so I'm going to get them in, and I'll be back in a second. Almost all of the idle rollers on. I think there's one or more to go, so we'll come to that now. First off, I need the serpentine belt on this side, serpentine belt on this side, both blacked out. Then you got the last little idle roller just in there, and a belt tensioner in here in a little black, just finishing off the front there, looking pretty good. Down here we got the oil filter, is in a blue, but I couldn't get rid of this yellow, so it was going a bit green, so I force chromed it. It still looks pretty good down there. Fuel filter up here is in a metallic blue, looking pretty good. Then we got the head covers, which are in a beautiful black on there, just to sort of keep it going. The engine bay is very blue, so we did want quite a bit of black visible from the top. So we went with that. Inside here, the ignition coils are all in a force chrome blue, but it is slightly lighter blue than worked everywhere else just because of the chromeness. So we'll go with that. In you go on this side. Let's get you all up to the same place. In we go, bolted up and ready to get finished and go off-road racing, or at least gravel track racing, shall we call it. Some people might say that the track we're using isn't quite off-road. I mean, it's not a road, but, you know, not quite a big off-road course. Coil covers, these are in a lovely metallic blue, just to finish off that, keeping a bit of blue on the top end, but separated by all the black, looking nice. Intake manifold, also in a very shiny black on there. Then we've got the throttle down the back here, which is non-performance, and it is in a blue. Also, the intake manifold is non-performance as well, along with these fuel rails, just the normal fuel rails in the blue on there. That's pretty much it. The only bit we got left to do is the exhaust manifold. In you go, in a chromed black, but not a force chrome, just the normal paint booth style chrome on there. One there and one over this side, and then we got those beautiful turbos to pit on. These are in a metallic blue. They are performance, just because we want to keep the whole exhaust all in the performance parts. Not very much performance on this one. It did already have 1100 horsepower at the beginning. We will have increased it by a little bit, but let's get this one dropped into our beautiful G-Wagon and see how good it looks once we get it inside. Let's get you going. In you go. Get the crane put away. That's looking pretty mean at the top end. Very, very blue on there. Let's just go into camera mode a little bit. Nip up in the air. Get a little bit of torch on there. Oh, that's looking beautiful. The blues are almost perfectly matched. Very dark at the front, so you can't always see it that well. But there we go. Fantastic. Let's get underneath and get the gearbox. Turn that torch off. Let's get underneath and get the gearbox, drive shaft, and the rest of this exhaust all in. It is quite hard to get underneath. There we go. Got away with that one a little bit. In we go. In with the V8 gearbox. Now, this is a performance part just because I wanted to be able to tune the gears. You have to have a performance gearbox to be able to tune the gears. So there we go. Blue, lovely starter on there. Just finishing that one off. And then the front exhaust section in that black chrome. And then all of these little exhaust pieces are all single front exhaust sections, all in black chrome, going all the way down the back. The only way I could get it to sort of go how I wanted it to go, which was ending in these side pipe exhausts, which we'll check out from outside of the car when hopefully they'll look just a little bit better. But let's get this drive shaft in the metallic blue, looking very good on there, up there, and bolted up down there. And then we've got the secondary drive shaft. On you go down there, making sure the front end is all connected to that twin turbo V8. Now, as you can see, when we're in this mode, there's no connection, but if we come out of that and go down the back and have a look, you can see it all clips in to that little box quite nicely on there. It's a roof box, but we're calling it a transmission thing. I don't know. Words has eluded me. Transfer case. Like this at the front, but slightly different. There we go. That is everything in this car. We just need to get the wheels done. Windows tinted. Get the liquids topped up. Get this beautiful G-Wagon outside in the sun. All finished with the beautiful G-Wagon, modded in by Payne, customized by myself here to make this G63 four-wheel drive V8 bi-turbo absolute monster. I love this thing. It is insane. There it is, V8 bi-turbo. Whole build was basically built around that bit being on there with the AMG badges and that twin-turbo engine. Looking stunning in there. Let's talk about these rims, though. These are the SLS-B rims. B because they're the two-tone ones. Hence why we got some blue on the outside and black on the inside. These can be done without any mods. You can paint them looking like this if you want to. They look awesome. They are a 22-inch rim with a 325 width tyre and a 50 profile on there. And it is the same on all four corners. Looking absolutely fantastic. Very pleased with this one. Also loving the Land Rover SVR interior. Paints beautifully. Got that black stripe with the blue outside at the back, and then the blue stripe with the black outside at the front. Just a little black on the steering wheel. Let's jump in, though. Check out this beautiful interior. Excellent work in here. Little splashes of carbon fibre matching in to the bits we got on the outside, such as that beautiful wing mirror there, and then the trims on the edge of them arches. But let's get that twin turbo started. See what it sounds like. We've heard this one before. One of my favourite engines in this game. Idle, grumble, perfect. Give it some gas, perfect. And then that turbo whistle just at the top end. Absolutely love this engine. It is one of my favorites, but we do need to get this beast onto the dyno, see what its horsepower is going to be today, what its drag rating will be. Even though we're not going drag racing, we're back on the gravel track. On the dyno with the bi-turbo G-Wagon G63 4x4, the VM edition with an A.K.A. twin-turbo engine, or bi-turbo as Mercedes like to say. We didn't go all out on the performance, but what have we ended up with? Let's take a look. A gain of 582 horsepower, 53%, about half an engine. Bearing in mind we didn't do performance heads, we didn't do performance on the intake manifold in the centre. There's quite a few bits that we left out performance parts on because we didn't want this to be too powerful, and yet we still ended up with something with 1,682 horsepower, which is going to be insane. The drag rating of A at 554. Not that we're really interested in that one at the moment. Let's have a look at the gearbox tuning setup we've gone for our G-Wagon. There it is, 6.81 ratio, 80k in first gear, up to 374 in fifth gear. Not that I think we'll ever get anywhere near that sort of speeds on this sort of track. It's a bit of fun nonetheless. ECU at stage 2, obviously you get one less bar, only 4 bars instead of the 5 on the stage 2, but fully tuned and ready to go, and no carburetors. So let's get this onto the gravel track and see if we can beat yesterday's time. I say yesterday's time, Monday's times of 1:56.906 for the standing start and 1:48.141 for the flying lap. Let's get over to the gravel track and see if the G-Wagon can beat it. Here we are with the G-Wagon on the gravel track, ready to go. Same setup as yesterday. We'll do a standing lap that I probably won't show you too much of, and then a full flying lap for you guys to see my rubbish attempt at driving. But if I do make any mistakes on the standing lap, I will make sure to include them for your entertainment, mostly, so you could laugh at the mistakes I make. Let's get into it. Let's keep going. Off we go. Come on, little G-Wagon. Hard start. Probably shouldn't use all the gas on the launch there, but there we go. We sort of keep going anyway, so let's get rolling and see how we do. Braking for this first corner. This is like a tank, and it does not like turning around corners at all, in all honesty. So let's go. Cool. Over the jump, watching for the tree. We managed to recover it. Slow down for this sort of rappy bend here. Oh my god. Nearly whipping left and right. Tree. Back on the brakes. Heavy on the brakes. Watch out for that tree. We need to pull it in so that we don't hit the tree or the other tree. We managed to miss the second tree, so that wasn't too bad. Over the start finish line. That wasn't the best, but let's keep going. 1:56.892. Actually, was that better than our standing lap yesterday in the Defender? And I spent most of that lap saying how I didn't think it was going to be any better. So I'm just going to be quiet and race. I'm not going to be quiet, don't worry. Whoa, sharp left. Around the tree. We're not even on the track. Hopefully we didn't miss any checkpoints. Otherwise, this whole run's going to be ruined. We didn't. We just got the checkpoint there. Let's keep going. Over the jump, watching out for the tree on the right. Braking so that we can get around this tree without hitting it, and then where have we gone? And then I don't know what we hit there, but it sent us up a little bit. That certainly cost us a bit of time. Let's get this back around, but on the straightaways it's got enough power to keep it going, but on the corners you almost have to come to a stop for some of them. But there we go. Braking, braking, braking. Not around the tree. We're going to stay on the inside of it for this lap. Let's keep pushing, keep pushing. Full power, brake, full power. Let's keep going, get the power down, up around here. But then we do have a left, if we can even make it to the left. Again, this does not like turning. It's got the turning ability of a Boeing 747. Let's keep going down. And away we go. We've got a left turn coming up. I'm going to brake early for it, because I still don't think this is going to slide all the way around. There we go. Oh, oversteer at the end there. But let's keep going down. Power on, power on, power on. Brake for the corner. I missed it on the last lap. Luckily that tree wasn't real, so we clipped it. There we go. Oh, keep it going straight, keep it going straight. Right turn, let's go. Power on. Keep going down. A little bit of braking, but it's going to be a lot of braking because this car does not like to turn. Back on the power, back on the power. Left a little bit. Bollard in the middle of the track. Down we go. Right turn. Tree, tree, tree. We didn't hit the tree. We're all right. Let's keep going and get across the finish line. Well, our second lap was actually slower than our standing lap. Our standing lap was quicker than our flying lap. That is absolutely terrible. 1:57.998 for the flying lap. against a 156.892 for the standing lap. So we didn't beat the Defender. Yes, some of it's probably to do with my driving, but that's the opportunity we're given it. One standing lap, one flying lap, and see where we end up. Let's get back to the garage, see if we can sell our G-Wagon on for some tasty profit. Well, I am a terrible driver, so we can't blame most of that on the G-Wagon itself. But its standing lap was 156.892, beating the Land Rover Defender by the smallest of margin because I had a 156.906. But the flying lap, that was pretty awful, at 157.998, whereas the Defender did a 148.141 on the flying lap. So definitely considerably better than the G-Wagon at the gravel track. But that is what it is. We're not that bothered. It was a cool build nonetheless. And, you know, it wasn't terrible. They weren't too far apart at the times. Just a little bit different. Let's make sure we try and get out of the view of them bright lights up there. Let's talk some facts and figures about this beautiful car. Still way too bright. I bought the car for 48,775 at the beginning of the episode and could have sold it and made some profit of a 6,493 at the very beginning of the episode. We obviously didn't do that. We spent another 68,489 modifying, upgrading, and tuning this beautiful G-Wagon to how you see it in front of you right now. Pinning our total spend at 117,264. Will we be able to make some money from the G-Wagon? Let's take a look. Well, she's all 100% complete. She looks beautiful. Just not that good on the gravel track. That engine ramped up from 1,101 horsepower to 1,682, and there was plenty more to go from that engine. We didn't even... about 50% tuning, but we didn't even do about 50% of the performance parts. We could have gone a lot further, but we still spent 117,264 in total. And with a sale price of 180,831, we still can make some profit of 63,567. Pretty good from this G-Wagon. Looking beautiful. Engine in there looking absolutely fantastic. Dim off some of the headlights when we put the hood open. I love that. That's a cool little feature there. Beautiful looking engine in there. Very, very pleased with that one. Incredibly pleased with the whole vehicle, but it is time to say goodbye. Just wish it was a bit easier to drive on the gravel strip. Gravel strip? Gravel track, rather than making me look like a complete idiot. I mean, I look like an idiot most days, but not a complete idiot. But we're going to sell this one off now. Off you go, a beautiful G-Wagon. You are a lot of fun. What have we got up next? It is another 4x4, because we are in 4x4 week. Can you tell what it is? This is a Mark 1, a Bronco. Absolutely love this. It's just stunning. This is the resto mod. There are two resto mods. There's like a street resto mod and an off-road resto mod. This is the jacked up off-road resto mod version. Looking pretty cool. Did I get a good deal on it? I did not. By quite a bit as well, really, considering the price we paid for it. 6,248 is what I paid. I could sell it for 4,848, losing out on 1,400 before we even begin. Definitely not happy about that. We did get it from the auction house, and it is in terrible condition, so that does make a little bit of sense. That we got it cheap, but we should have profited a little bit from it. The engine in this one is the V8 double overhead cam 4x4 engine. That's the only one with the transfer case. So we're going to be leaving the 4x4 engine in there with the transfer case. See how well that one manages to do on our gravel track for next time. That's it for today's video. I do hope you did enjoy it. If you did, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button, leaving us a cheeky little like, and let me know what you think in the comments below. What did you think of our beautiful off-road G-Wagon for the Discord competition? Come and check it out. It does close later on this evening, 10 o'clock this evening, UK time, GMT, whatever you want to call it. That's what time it closes. You've still got time to enter, but there's still another whole day after that to get your votes in to vote for your favourites. So make sure you join us on the official Red Dot Games Discord server for that. Join us back here on Friday where we'll be building that beautiful Bronco. But most of all, thank you so much for watching today. Hope you have an awesome day, whatever it is you're getting up to in the world. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.